we've got the demand for these sorts of developments. We've got the government that's earmarked these areas for these developments.
Yep.
We're doing traffic management or traffic studies.
Yep.
The real problem is that we haven't got enough foresight to develop the roads to cater for these things. Mm-hmm. That is the big problem. You know, we're going to have this built, and then we're going to go, oh, where are all these cars going? Mm. You know, we need to have some foresight and some into developing the infrastructure to cater for this.
Yeah, and that's a conversation between the developers and the TCCS who manage the roads and
well, it's the community too.
Yeah.
The community's got to suffer this.
Yeah.
Just in the experience of the Gungahlin Community Council, the level of connectedness between the directorates, particularly planning, TCCS, the Suburban Land Agency, is shocking. So it's, you know, we spend a lot of the time telling them, oh, by the way, did you know while you're doing this active travel planning study in the town centre, you actually have another group inside the same directorate doing a mesoscopic traffic flow analysis? No, we didn't know that, but that's useful. Thank you. We'll go and talk to them. So that happens a lot, and then you get between directorates. So this is a bunch of planning rules. Developer puts out something that will fit inside the planning rules to get approval. Yeah. But that has nothing. That is a disconnected conversation from duplicating Clary Hermes Drive, right? And if the plan was to duplicate Clary Hermes Drive now, they have to get budget in the next ACT budget to do a planning study, which will be done the following year, the results of which would then inform a decision on the next budget to then fund a contract to develop it. So there's no way known Clary Hermes Drive will be duplicated in the next 3, at least, probably more 4 years. But that needs to be on the radar and start to be planned for now. And that's something we continually reinforce. But one of the challenges we have is there is no one inside the ACT government, elected or in the public service, who's responsible for Gungahlin as a whole. So it's hurting. It's a complete hurting. So I wish I had a better answer, but it's what makes me a cranky old man.
It's just an observation from a fairly new resident.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. Oh, thumbs up. Hey, I'll take a thumbs up. Yeah, right. Sorry, there's a question here. Yeah. John.
Would it not be, from the previous speaker's observation, essential to duplicate Gungahlin Drive? The end of Gungahlin Drive is the only section of it from Gundaroo Drive up to the roundabout that isn't duplicated. Now, we're residents of the Grove, and there's going to be a development next door which we violently oppose as having access to develop through Monty Place. It's just absolutely ridiculous to think that that's going to be where the development is going to take place. It's obvious it should come from the top of that section, but we have the college and we have increasingly elderly people trying to get into traffic which is speeding past at 80 k's. It says 60 k's, but effectively you have 2 lanes of traffic coming down Clary Hermes and 2 coming down Horse Park, coming into eventually 1 traffic lane, and then you're concerned about the traffic merging on either side of you, and then you have the crossing there. Now, there's going to be accidents there, hopefully not a school child. I have been speaking to both the residents committee at the Grove, who have distanced themselves. They don't want to know anything about this. They said go to the government to speak. I have spoken on a number of occasions, and as late as today and yesterday, with the college to support some sort of effort to support that something should be done about it. It's falling on deaf ears. But until such time as the duplication takes place, that's going to be an increasing problem. Now you've got your development. What other developments might be occurring that we don't have any idea of? So until that road is duplicated, you're going to have massive problems.
Yeah. So I mean, what you're talking about is exactly what Peter was just talking about in terms of there needs to be a forward-looking sort of strategic roads budget improvement process. And so I guess two thoughts about that. In terms of the development that you don't know about that might be coming, there is more development that will happen in Casey on those two sites that the ACT government has, but the nature and scale of that development is unknown. But we do know that in the land release program, they've identified potentially 100 dwellings on that area as well. So,
open space, open green space. Where's that?
There's a lot of common ground between the people in this room and the people that I'm representing in terms of what happens on those sites, because from the owners of the shopping centres' point of view, really high quality community facilities on those sites there make Casey a better group centre and is beneficial for those guys as well. So there's, we're all going to be on the same page talking about that.
So just in terms of future things, apart from what Kip's mentioned, we're aware that one of the sites they're planning for the new Northside College is adjacent to the Gold Creek High School. So that big paddock that abuts Clary Hermes Drive is there. That's the only one I'm actually aware of.
But also there's quite a bit more development to come in Taylor and Moncrief.
Oh yes, so further up the road, yes.
So there's another shopping centre to be built at Moncrief, which is it's a group centre as well. So it'll be a bit like the Amaroo scale centre at the Moncrief site. And then there's the development in Taylor, which is ongoing. And so a certain amount of that traffic will filter around Horse Park Drive and come down into the same area that you're talking about.
Yep. All right. Any more questions? Noting we're getting close to our hard stop. All right. Thank you, Kip, for coming out tonight.
No worries. Thank you.
It's always appreciated when the process is well executed. Let's just jump out here. You know, the Casey Group sites are something that's been very active. Leanne Castley asked a whole bunch of questions about those sites in the Assembly, got some pretty ordinary answers. Things along, we're considering all aspects when the very poor assessment of community facilities will inform our decisions and so on. And that's why we're going to see the Minister tomorrow. Quite confident that we will get nothing but double speak and nothing concrete, but we can at least say we've been to the Minister to raise these ongoing concerns because it's a very consistent message we've heard from the Casey and the broader Gungahlin community. So we keep banging away, and we do have this new relationship with TCCS that we've started up. A long list of things we're trying to work through, potholes and mowing and parks and Yerrabee Pond and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But strategic arterial roads is definitely one of the things we have to talk to. Thank you again for coming out tonight. We'll be back here in October, hopefully with the Health Directorate, to talk about what they're thinking. And if we're really lucky, we may even know a little bit more about some of these other projects. Thank you again. We'll see you next month.